Hi guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. So I'm going to be doing another back testing session here using FX Replay. This is the model that I'll be using today as always. So let's get into the session. So we'll start with an account balance of 150,000 and the usual suspects NQ and ES. Start date we'll do 2022 October, and we can do skip NFP week. Let's do 14th, and we'll put today's date. Disable smooth candles and save this. And let's get into the back test. So I'm going to quickly go to the Forex Factory and just go back to the date we said. I'll be looking for the next week, to be honest, actually. Cool, so just get everything set up here. So I'm going to change the time zone to -4. I'm then going to make sure my settings for the sessions wicked. So I'm going to go to New York session, so 15 minutes before it. This should be the Monday. We have news at 8:30, so we've already had the news. It didn't actually do anything, it seems, here. And we're going to start the day from the daily, see what price looks like on the daily. Okay, so on the daily, we check ES. Can I bring up two pairs? I want two screens. Yes, I can. Wicked. So this is Monday here. I don't really have a bias, to be honest, here. Reason I don't have a bias on the daily time frame. This is our swing low. We have taken external range liquidity here. I'm just going to put ES. I'm not really going to be focusing on ES, but I just want to see if there's any SMTs. And we have this daily FEG. Where am I? Here we go. We have a daily FEG here. So, if anything on the daily, I'd probably want to see this low get taken out. But we can look at the 4 hour instead. So 4 hour, we're located at New York Open in a bearish fair value gap. So with this idea, I would be framing shorts. If this gets closed over, I wouldn't be too happy for shorts. So I'd want to see this FEG get disrespected. So we'll jump to New York Open. I'll see what the 1 hour looks like as well, just so I can kind of paint a picture. Again, this could be a place where we reverse, but I'm adamant that we potentially could be going lower. So I'll be looking at the 4 hour today, the 1 minute entry function, I would say. This doesn't look very convincing. Go to the 1 minute, the 15 minutes, sorry. Okay, so price at New York Open, we are located in this bearish fair value gap. We also have another one here and here. So I'd be looking for my bearish unicorn on the 1 minute. So let's just see if we get a bearish setup. New York Open now. So I have a bearish bias. We are just going higher and higher at the minute. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. Okay. Need to see if we close below this. Can't close below this breaker. If it is to be a breaker block, this is the lowest down close candle before the leg up that took liquidity. And our higher time frame, we are now in a bearish FEG. For the 4 hour, it looks like we are going to invalidate this bearish FEG, which isn't great. So if this does happen, that's fine. It is absolutely fine. My next interest would be what happens when we reach here, if we do. So we go to the 1 minute. Still got 10 a.m. close coming up. Okay, so we have a new stop hunt now. This is a sweep. So our lowest down close candle before the leg up that took liquidity becomes these consecutive down close candles. We need an FVG and displacement through this with closure below. This doesn't look clear and decisive. We get closure here. The new 4-hour candle will be beginning soon, so we can check the 4-hour. We can see that we're disrespecting this bearish FEG, and this is likely going to be the open. It puts in its low, puts in its high, and now it's going to close here. So for me to think that a short here, yes, we have an FEG here, which has been, we've kind of rebalanced it. This for me, I wouldn't take the short. I wouldn't take this. So we can see what happens if you were to take this. I think as well the stop here 41 points, that is quite a lot. We can also check for any SMTs. Why has it gone to the daily? Did I just click that by accident? Nope. We do have SMT at the highs. Again, 15-minute structure. And I'm looking for shorts. This looks very, very bullish. So go down to the 1 minute. And I wouldn't enter this trade. But if you did, it would look like this. So this is how it would play out. You'd get tapped in here. 10 a.m. candle opens here, new 1-hour and a 4-hour candle. We can look at the 15-minute. This is more so if probably continuation, tap into this 15-minute to go higher, which would take our stop loss, to be honest. And as you can see, it's just floating, going towards our stop loss. So the bias here today, obviously on a Monday, isn't correct, and this is your stop loss hit here. So I hope that kind of shows you the reasons why I wouldn't have taken this. So that we can remove this off the chart. Time is 10:13, so I'd go to the 4-hour, and I'd now see this closure as I said. So really, how I would see price is it probably wants to take out this high. So this is probably the draw, and then we also have that daily FEG here that we're also aiming for. So this isn't a place I'd look for a long. We are above. We are in a bearish FEG, yes, but this is such strong price action higher. You're essentially not catching a falling knife, but trying to. It's like a reversal catching a falling knife, whatever that would be. Trying to catch a rocket ship, short. So, what would I do now? Well, to be honest, there probably isn't much to do. Yes, you could still potentially frame a short. What happens if we take this high? We are still within this deep premium fair value gap on the 15-minute, but the 4-hour, this is looking like the draw. So this could be our draw. So yeah, we'll still see what happens. There's no bearish unicorn here at all. Check the 15-minute. Even to frame a long, if that's what you were looking for, I don't even see a long opportunity here. For me, a long opportunity has to come down to this fair value gap on the 15. The 1-hour structure, I mean, we kind of just have gone higher. 5 minutes at New York Open, we have just gone higher. So there isn't even anything on the 5-minute for both bulls and bears. So we'll continue. 15-minute. As you can see, we're now kind of coming down retracement, potentially into this bullish fair value gap. So we'll mark this as a 15-minute FEG. Going down to the 1 minute. Again, there is nothing here on the 15-minute to even consider longing. I will show examples of both, but my bias is bearish. So at this moment in time, you could say like you have like this this sweep here. Just about. And you could say, well, that's your bullish breaker. Wait, you have an FEG aligned with it. You could take a long here. Stop goes below the low, say 30 points, and target 2R. But your higher time frame, nothing on the higher time frame has been hit. So this for me is not valid, but we can see how it plays out. You get tapped in here. And look what happens there. The awful price action right now. And you get stopped out. So you see why that higher time frame is so important for the model. So this is just a range at the minute after this huge expansion. So when you have a expansion, either after it kind of stops like this here, either expect retracement or consolidation. So with that being said, we'll go to the 15-minute again, see what price looks like. Again, it looks like to me that we're going to go to this 15-minute fair value gap. We can see we have gone to that 15-minute fair value gap. We have now tapped into it. So price is currently located in a bullish fair value gap, so this isn't a place for me to look for a short. Now you could say if this is our stop hunt, the lowest leg down before the leg up that took liquidity would be these candles here. This becomes your bearish breaker block, because what happened on the 15-minute, we came into this bearish fair value gap. We eventually got the closure here. This is not clear and decisive. Okay, so you get a breaker block and a fair value gap. I wouldn't take this, but we'll do it as a forward test. So you put your entry there. It's not giving you an entry, and it's basically gone to 2R. And now I'm going to stop here. So I'm going to take this off the screen and show you the 15-minute. We're in a 15-minute FEG. We have now had a sweep in that time frame, the high time frame POI. This then becomes our bullish breaker block. Now, is there a fair value gap in this breaker block? If my eyes are correct, there isn't one. So again, we forward test. This isn't a trade I'd take. I have a bearish bias, as I said, but price is located in that bullish FEG. I would, or you would, or you wouldn't do this because this isn't valid. You get tapped in there. Notice we now have tapped this bearish breaker. You would have got stopped out on the long, but the bearish breaker block, when you got the closure here, your stop goes above it, target 2R. You get tapped in here, suffer literally no drawdown. If you haven't taken profits or moved to break even after this, as you got that close to your take profit, you should be, but you hit take profit there. Okay, so although this isn't clear and decisive, this price action, the model remains the model. For me, my bias was bearish, so I wouldn't have taken any long opportunities. But do you see how this bullish breaker block was invalid for me? With no FEG within this breaker block, this is kind of just slow movement up. This bullish breaker block is invalid, and it just so happens that would by itself creates a low probability unicorn, but it taps into our bearish unicorn, which shows nice displacement down and closure. taps into it and goes to 2R. So that's an example of that. So we are now at 11:15, just after. I'd probably just be done for the day, to be honest. I probably wouldn't be interested in taking anything, so we'll close this and go to the next day. Go to New York session for the next day. I'm going to take ES here off the chart, I can't lie, I'm not going to use it. It's different when you're trading with the real market price, with real live price. Back testing, it's just you're just clicking away. So anyway, let's go to the daily and see what price has done. Wicked. So we're now at the daily. We're on Tuesday here, before New York Open. One thing I want to note is that we have a low wick here. We have this gap here. So for me, this, how I see this, as for what it is, we are currently in that bearish FEG we spoke about before. On the daily, there's not really a wick here. We kind of just a few points and then we just shot up. So for me, this looks like potential move down. So as price is now located in a bearish FEG, I would have a bearish bias. You could mark out the order block created once we had the closure below this down close candle. We're just about at 50% right now. After today's closure, we'll find out if we are respecting it. But daily, I have a bearish bias. So I'm going to go to the 4 hour because I like the 1 minute entry function. 1 minute entry function, we are in a bearish fair value gap, bearish bias. So once we have that bearish bias, we can drop down to the 15 minute. At the 15 minute, we do have buy side liquidity that we took here. However, though, I do want to see how New York opens, so we'll skip to 15 minute. New York Open, go 1 more minute ahead to 9:30, and we'll zoom out now to 15 minutes. We are in a bearish fair value gap here. So as we're in this bearish FEG, bearish bias, it's as simple as that. So I'm going to go down to the 1 minute. We have New York Open here. I'm just going to be watching price at New York Open. This is a sweep. We have a high, a low, a high, and we're getting some displacement down. So this becomes our sweep. Our stop hunt, sorry. Lowest down close candle before the leg up that took liquidity is here. I need a next candle closure to confirm if this is going to be a bearish breaker. Over here, we don't have an FEG aligned to this breaker block, so there's nothing here for me to take. If you did take it, you'd get tapped in there. We can actually forward test this. And that's your 2R there. But I wouldn't have taken this because there was no fair value gap within this breaker block. Don't need to worry about that. It is what it is. So continuing with that bearish bias, 4 hour, bearish FEG, bearish bias, 15 minute FEG. We're now going lower, so I am just going to see what price tells me if it wants to give me a continuation down. We can check the 5 minute. So the 5 minute as well, there is no, it's a 1 hour FEG. The 5 minute, this would be your breaker block. There is no FEG within this 5 minute as well. So again, there's no setup, there's no trade to take. Did we have news today? We don't have any news today. Get a sweep here. Let me see what the higher time frame looks like. Again, you could say that there's an inversion fair value gap here. That could be your POI. Some people could use that, some people don't, but we'll see what happens here. Okay, so for me, we're at 5 more minutes on the next 15-minute candle. Check the 4-hour. This is pretty bullish on the 4-hour, but I still have a bearish bias. I'm going to remove some indicators here, guys. Okay, 15-minute. We have a fair value gap here. So we have a 15-minute FVG over here. We've now tapped into it. Are we now going to go to the 1 minute? Over here. So that's our 15-minute level. Put it like there. That becomes our sweep. If we're going to get a bearish breaker block, I would then want it to be these series of down close candles, closure below. We have a fair value gap here. I would take this trade. With the closure at that break block, I'm entering here. I'm putting my stop up here, and I'm going to now target 2R. So this is the first trade of the week that I would be entering. So I'm going to place my order, $800, save, entered here, tapped in. Watching as price goes down. I am noting we have fair value gap here. Check the 5-minute. I'd want to see what time are we on. Okay, I want to see where this next 2 minutes closes. Go 1 more minute ahead. Okay, I'm liking this. So yes, we had the closure here. This next 5 minutes is really going to determine if we are going to potentially be reversing. But what I can see here, we have some nice liquidity resting here for us to shoot down to. So continue to hold this trade. I'm liking this trade. I think at this point is when I'm going to move my stop loss to break even. We are so close to take profit. I don't want to get greedy. And over here we smash our take profit. So going back, this is a breaker block because we have a sweep here into a higher time frame POI that matches our bias. We want the lowest down close candle before the leg up. This is the swing low before the leg up that created the stop hunt. As well, it tapped into our 15-minute FEG. I do not count this as my stop hunt. This high. I don't count that. This is what I'm interested in. With that being said, we then get closure at 10.16, just below it, and there's an FEG. That for me validates it. I'm comfortable taking it. Some people like a bit more closure, but I'm comfortable taking it. Once we got that closure, I entered here. Obviously, we suffered some drawdown. We then came up and tapped into this FVG, respected it, and clearly went down. So it's a game of probabilities. Yes, so that's that trade. That's kind of a recap on why I took that. And then obviously you can see low resistance liquidity to target. So yeah, I'd be done for Tuesday, but we can pretty much see what happens with price. After goes 2R, we kind of come up. But yeah, it even goes lower. So that's that trade. One trade a day. Once I win a trade on a day, I don't look to trade again. So we'll go to the next day. We have news. Irrelevant. It's in 6:30, so I don't care about that. So we'll go to the daily. I always start my day on the daily. I always like to see what the daily looks like. Alright. So now what we can see that we are going from this bearish fair value gap that I spoke about, and we can mark out that 50% of the order block, respected 50% of the order block here, so I'm confirming that we could be going lower. However, we do have a volume imbalance here. That's what we potentially could have gone to fill. So I'm a bit wary right now on the daily of this volume imbalance. That could potentially push price higher. It is possible, but I would probably stay neutral on the daily. I'd want to see what happens, but I'd more inclined of the bearish bias. So either this low would be of interest to me. So bearish bias on the daily, more so than a long bias. So again, I'd have to wait for this daily close to really confirm if my bias was correct, but that's always in hindsight. So we can do the 4 hour, and the 4 hour is again different to the daily for the 1 minute and the 5 minute entry function, if you know what I mean, for time frame alignment. 4 hour, we have a swing low here and we have a bullish FEG here. So these aren't places I am looking to go short with that bearish bias I spoke about on the daily. I also have a long bias for the 4 hour and a short bias for the daily. So I'm just going to kind of do my own analysis and show you guys how I kind of see price. So I kind of see price, these lows look like pretty good targets for price. So I would expect us to go lower to go for these, and then we could potentially look for long. So I'd have a bearish bias to these lows. So we will go to New York Open. Cool. So we haven't taken them at New York Open. We are at this high, but we also have a high here. So I'd want to see a unicorn after taking out one of these highs or this FEG tap if we are to continue short. As you can see here, it is possible we are getting our accumulation manipulation before distributing lower. This is New York Open. I don't like how it's left these lows here. I don't like that. So well, I do like that because it frames my short bias. Wicked. So we're now tapping into these higher time frame POIs. So again, I have a short bias to these lows. We're not under this swing low. And yes, we have a gap here. But I'm interested in this low personally. So that's just why I have a bearish bias. So we'll go to that 15 minute. We can remove that. So we've now actually taken this buy side liquidity. We also have a fair value gap here. So see if we go in the fair value gap, and then I can just remove one of the markers. Okay, I can just remove this then. So we have a 15 minute FEG here. Notice at New York Open here, we do get a bullish unicorn. So I would be interested, it would be this low for me. I wouldn't really be interested in this. I'd want this low, or yeah, this low. So the highest up close candle would be this. You get an FEG aligned here. You got tapped there and gone to 2R if you went long, but that's outside. That depends if you hunt outside before pre 9:30. So I'm only looking at in the 9:30 onwards window. I'm not looking at pre 9:30. So anyway, sorry, I got a bit carried away there. So we have now prices located in this bearish FEG. We're currently at 10. We've still got 10 more minutes just about of this candle. So we'll see what happens. You have these lows here as well. Like everything's kind of indicating towards bearish sentiment. Okay, so there's actually no bearish unicorn for me here to take. This isn't a bearish unicorn, if you're interested. See, we've got the closure there, tapped there, but that's not valid for me anyway. What is valid for me is this. swing low, swing high, swing low. We've now taken that high. I liked this rejection we just had off this 15-minute. This looks very nice actually. So I want to see how what happens here. Lovely, we get closure below it, but I need the next candle to confirm an FEG. We have no FEG. That now is invalidated. Looks like we are going now back up. Tap that FEG again. If we're going to get that bearish breaker, it needs to be here. We get displacement down. I need to wait for the next candle for an FEG. We have an FEG here. I'm taking this trade. And I'm going to go, as I say, target these lows. That was our target. So I'm actually going to target 2.8 here. I'm liking this. I don't know if we have SMT. We might have SMT. No, we don't. So I'm going to place an order here for 800. This is, so 2R is over here. So wait for price to go 2R, and then if it does go 2R, and then we can, even if it taps us in, might not even tap us in. We're tapped in here, and we get actually stopped out. So that's a losing trade. That's absolutely fine. Let's go review this. So 15-minute, we come into this 15-minute, fail to get a CSD on the 15-minute. With the 1 minute, tap into it. We then get this displacement down here. Maybe it's not a 100% win rate model. Do you know what I mean? Not no model is, but it's a game of probabilities. So we'll see what happens now. Notice how we have a fair value gap here. Let's refine our stop and see if our stop loss placement was wrong. Our stop loss placement wasn't wrong anyway. Because of this FEG, we still would have got stopped out. So yeah, there is nothing here. Just a losing trade. I'd probably close the charts and be done for the day. I'm sad that we didn't sweep any of these lows. I genuinely thought it would happen. It might happen later, it might not happen. We can still watch price. Sweep a high. And it looks like we are remaining bullish. So yeah, this was a losing trade. Obviously, it is what it is. Yeah. Still see what happens with price. It's still early into the New York AM session. I still think we are bearish. Okay, what do we have here on the higher time frame? So this isn't a trade I would take because we've closed above a bearish breaker. Haven't had a sweep of a high. So we have a bearish breaker block here with an FEG in it. But I wouldn't take this. See what happens. You get tapped in there. And that goes to our typical, but that can happen. So do we have SMT at these highs? Have a look. So ES put a low, then a high, whereas NQ put in a low and a high. So yeah, we don't have any SMT there. Now, ES potentially could have been the trade to take. You have that high there. After that high gets ran, you have a breaker block here. Closure, one of these two candles, you enter after it, tap into it. and your 2 R's there. So yeah, so I took the wrong trade. Not the wrong trade. Maybe I got too excited. I probably could have noted that this was the new 4-hour candle. I should have maybe been a bit patient and waited for the 4-hour candle to close and for the new candle to open and wait maybe 5 minutes, see what happens in this 10 a.m. candle. You can kind of see now this 10 a.m. candle's opened. It's just accelerated up. This could potentially be that 1 hour open high, and then low close potentially. We're only at, oh, actually we're 10 minutes away from the close, so that's unfortunate. And I bet you any money, actually I don't, that's don't quote me on that, but I bet you any money this bet you now goes here. This is just like typical price action for me. So I'll remove this off the chart, and I bet you this trade goes to that liquidity that I was interested on. Oh. So it's gone to 4.5R, but I'm personally interested in, as I mentioned, these failure swings. Are we respecting 50% of that? Or we're not. See what happens. Just kind of going up and down in a range. And then look at that. It gets hit. This is like not hindsight at all. I'm just seeing how I see price. And you can see that's a nice pretty much 10R trade from that one unicorn entry here. It's just so typical. And it's just kind of clear how you can frame, like when you have something like this and these lows here, it's just kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say predictable, but like the draw on liquidity for me in that sense is clear. You know, this was a span of, I don't know, 2.5 hours for 10R. If you took that, you know, my normal risk, I would have made 8 grand from it. So it is what it is. Obviously, if you have trailing drawdown, this could be a pain. Like if you have end of day drawdown, wow. If you have trailing drawdown, a trade like this is, you'd have to be taking partials along the way. Like when it cut, like you just, yeah, managing it would be a bit different to end of day drawdown. But yep, that's this trade. We took a losing trade today. It is what it is. I will go to next New York session. Wicked. So again, start my day on the daily. What's happened with price? So we went from that daily FEG, nice bearish closure, failed to close below this low, previous day low. That is interesting. Now you know what I said about that volume imbalance? Mark out 50%. We're respecting 50% and we now have a new volume imbalance here. I want to check if we have SMT at the lows on ES. We have SMT at the lows. Let me put them on 2 screens. So for my short bias, I'm not so convinced. I'd have to see how we close today. But going to the daily, it's very small, but this is just before New York Open. We have 76 up here, I'm reading 76, 75. Yeah, so this is lower and that's higher, whereas this is higher and this is lower. So this is SMT at the lows. So ES, I wouldn't want, if it's going to be bullish, I don't want it to go lower than that line. So we can watch this. I don't think you can put an alert. Oh, that's just a horizontal line. So we can potentially have a potential reversal here of this imbalance. We also, you could classify that as maybe an order block, potentially. I don't think I would class that as an order block, maybe a change in the state delivery. Some people can see that as a change in state delivery because of this closure. But yeah, maybe not. It's not clear on me on that. So I would go down to, for example, the 1 hour. Again, these lows look too tasty. This, for me, looks like price would want to take those out. That's low resistance liquidity, failure swings, equal lows. Like I'd be bearish. I'm not daily 5-minute entry function bearish. For the 4 hour, okay, 4 hour. Okay, 4 hour, I would have to be bearish. With where price is right now, I need to see, do we close above here at 10 a.m.? But I'd be bearish to this low. So with that in mind, let's go to the 15-minute before New York Open. So we have a FEG here. Yeah, this looks too clean. This looks like I think New York will just dump as soon as the open happens. Maybe not. So this is our 15-minute FEG. We've now tapped into that 15-minute FEG. We need to wait for the next candle. Nope. We don't get closure, guys. Here. Okay, so we did actually get closure. Okay, so maybe if I did take this, I don't know if I would have, because I thought we didn't actually. No, we didn't get closure. Yes, look, we didn't get closure, so it wasn't valid for me to take. Getting lovely chop. Do we have any news today? It's Thursday. We had news at 8:30. We got news at 10, but it's orange, so I'm not really bothered. I want to check the 15-minute now. Still hovering at that 15-minute FEG. That's now our stop hunt. And we have a new 15-minute closure. So we now disrespect this. 4 hour. Yeah, I still remain with my bearish bias. We've now taken that swing high. We can check for SMT. Oh, I think we do have SMT. I should really just bring them on two charts. So, as you can see, this daily is still being respected, but we're using the 4 hour for entry function. Daily bias, sorry. So over here we have SMT, it seems. So we have a NQ puts in a lower high and a higher high, whereas ES is a high here but a lower high here. So we have SMT here. It would probably be best to short, I believe it's ES, but I just want to backtest NQ personally. So if we are going to get a bearish breaker, we need closure below here. Okay, we now have a new stop hunt. Okay, so you probably noticed that there's a bullish breaker here. Get the closure there, but no entry on the 15. But there's no higher time frame. We're above a swing high. I wouldn't look for a long. Okay, we're getting to 10 a.m. close, so we can see what the 4 hour close like. So removing all my drawings, we now have this 4 hour FEG here. So let's see what happens when we tap into this. Okay, we actually don't tap into it. Checking the 15-minute. Seems like we actually have a sweep of this high, but we'll just use this high for now. We then have a bearish breaker here, so I would take this trade. Put my stop above the high there, and I target 2R. Place my order, 800, save, going straight to stop loss. Get stopped out. And now we've tapped that 4-hour FEG, so it is what it is. We can check the 15-minute. And we only have a wick there. Wow. Was that the start of a new 15-minute candle? It was. Interesting. Okay. So it is what it is. It's like I'm not getting my bias correct today. That's absolutely fine. We have a stop hunt here. Down close candle. This is actually something I would take. So I will retake this trade or re-enter a trade. And I'm going to target 2R. So I am going to put another order down for this. Don't know why to put that. It should be 800. I get tapped in here. We can check what the 15 minutes doing. 5 minute. 1 hour. 4 hour. I'm still happy with this trade. But we get stopped out. So that's unfortunate. So upon review, in hindsight review, 15 minute, does that look bullish or bearish to you guys? This is very strong bullish price action. I do want to short above swing highs. Would I trade this differently if it was live price? I don't know. We can see here we have a swing, we have an FEG here, and we just slightly tap into it. After we tapped into it here, if this bullish uptrend is obviously staying, this is your bearish breaker. That would be your entry once you get that closure. Stop goes below the breaker and your target 2R. This looks like the trend wants to follow. Even this might fail. So there's a whole lot of chop, and that even failed as well. So it is what it is. Do I see any potential trade here to be taken? Not really. I mean, we just kind of chopped away. There's nothing really clear for me there. I mean, in hindsight, you can always like see, well, if that's your stop hunt there of that high, you'd want the lowest down close candle for the leg up. That's there. You get that closure here. You put your entry there after you get that closure. Your stop goes above the breaker, and that's when you target 2R. But that for me, I don't think I'd take that, especially after a loss. I know I did take 2 trades here, and that was even a loss. So we're kind of just a big range day. But if it is going to continue this bullish structure, this is your FEG. Again, still in the kill zone, but this then becomes your bullish breaker block. Entry here, stop here, but it just seems everything's getting stopped out. This is just chop, it's chopping at both sides. You get entered there, and even that again stopped out. So yeah, this would have been an awful day for me to trade. You can see what the 15 minute now is doing. It's just chopping, so it's a search and destroy pattern in a way. It's just unfortunate, and I traded that twice, so that's a mistake, and you can kind of see that on the back test. You know, this isn't hand picked. I'm just showing you this. I chose a random date, and I'm showing you it for how it is and how I see price. So yeah, with that, I will go to our next day because it's now the end of the session. So we'll go to the next day before I end the back test. So this is the Friday, and we have no news today. So bear that in mind, but I'm going to back test anyway every day. Cool, so we can check the daily. So daily, we have this, obviously that, so it looked like the previous day, obviously we went higher, and now we've just basically come down lower. So when price is like this, where it's again, it's not closed below previous day low, I'll be honest, I don't have a bias for the daily. 4 hour, I'd have to go down to, and I'm only checking the daily. You'll notice I haven't done a 5 minute entry function. Don't really use the 5 minute. Maybe in the next back test I'll only look for 5 minutes. So what's my bias for today? I have a bullish bias going into New York. Skip to New York. Go down to now my 15-minute time frame. We have an FEG here. We also have a change in the state of delivery. We have an FEG here. So let's see what happens at these levels. Now we're at New York Open. Cool, so we're at New York Open. We have a stop hunt here. Highest up close candle before the leg down that took liquidity is here. We use a consecutive. We don't have an FEG in this breaker block yet. We don't get one at all. Notice how this is pre 9:30, so we could actually now pretty much be looking for after 9:30. So I will remove this. We can check the 15-minute. I would have wanted that sweep. Did ES sweep it? Nope. So I would have preferred if we swept that, but that's fine. We might be creating a swing up. Okay, we're just chopping away again. That's fine. Wait for the next 15-minute close. Okay, so swing high, swing low. That is a swing point. That would be your breaker. That would be your breaker block. So would I take that? Probably not. I don't think I would take that, but we can forward test this. Why wouldn't I take that? Just the swing points here, they're not, they don't really look great, and I think this will probably go 2R anyway before we even taps us in. So you would have got tapped in here. So if you didn't, I would have moved to break even now, and then that's your 2R there. So of course the one trade I don't take. Again, that goes to take profit. But I hope you can kind of see the reasoning. So we probably would have, if I did take that, we would end the week basically at break even. No, would have ended the week $800 up. Profit is profit in my eyes, and it is what it is. We can see what the rest of the session does, but I would in essence be done after that win if I did take that. So again, where is price now on the 4 hour? Still having that bullish bias, using this potential as the draw. Do we have a 15-minute fair value gap we're tapped into? We do here. And what's the time? It's been about 10 minutes open, so we'll see what happens. There's just nothing interesting here. I'm not even going to bother looking for bearish setups. Or will I? Let me check the 4 hour. Okay. 1 hour. So I'm having on the 5 minute. Nope. 1 minute. Bit of chop. I think it's important we mark out that original bullish breaker. Yeah, it's not. I like this doji, but I don't. Price just that's just not really clear to me. Like, yeah, that's not quite clear. There's no FEG even in there. It's not clear, so I just wouldn't take it and clearly see what's happening. We've now tapped our original breaker block. No way, did that just go 2R again? No, 2R's up there. So check the 15-minute. Yeah, I don't really think I'd be taking any more trades. It's getting to 11:30 and we yeah, so like realistically I don't think I would take this unless we have movie SMT. So NQ put a low then a high, ES put a low and a high. Yeah, so there's no SMT there. Let's see if you get that for value gap. You do. Entry would be pretty much there because that's where price is and target 2R, but I wouldn't take that. And look at that. Oh, it's the ones I don't take. Even on a back test I don't take, and they go 2R. So that's two. That's twice. So we could have been up. What is that? 1600 plus 800 if we took both of those. If, like, this is just if, but I probably wouldn't. 2400 we would have been up. But yeah, that pretty much closes the day. It's 11:30. I'd call it quits there. But yeah, guys, if this was helpful, if this was insightful, please leave a like. Please leave a comment. We can also see how the day closed. Link in the description will be the Discord. Check it out. It's free. If you've got any questions to this backtest or any video suggestions, please let me know. I'll consider them. But yeah, with that, guys, take care. Have a good one. Bye bye.